Hi guys, it's reaction time. It's a big one. It's Metallica. It's screaming suicide. So, man, this is probably, they're the biggest metal band, aren't they? You know, they probably surpassed, I mean, you could argue, like, is it Maiden? Is it Metallica? But, you know, as far as number, I think, but as far as sales are concerned and all that, I think Metallica are the band, you know, the biggest band, metal band on the planet, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, Screaming Suicide from the album 72 Seasons. Obviously, everyone's talking about it, coming out on April the 14th. It addresses the taboo word of suicide. The intention is to communicate about the darkness we feel inside. It's ridiculous to think we should deny that we have thoughts, have these thoughts. At one point or another, I believe most people have thought about it. To face it is to speak the unspoken. If it's a human experience, we should be able to talk about it. You are not alone. So, man, that's obviously, I've known people, you know, that have contemplated it. So, you know, lots of people in my past and stuff. So, you know, it's just like, you know, it is a taboo subject, but it's something we should speak about. And men as well, especially, don't they? They don't like to speak out about stuff like that because they think it's a weakness, you know. And so, you know, it's a great subject to get out there and talk about. Metallica are doing that. Love the first single, by the way, getting onto the music. Love the first single. They went back almost to, you could say they went almost to Kill 'Em All, you know, their garage days, if you like. They went back to. I know there's a lot of buzz about this song as well. A few people said to me it's fucking great, you know, they love the sound of it. So I'm getting excited about hearing it. If this doesn't make it through, it sometimes might not. So if you're hearing this, guys, it means it's made it through on YouTube. The first one did. So I was really glad about that and surprised. You know, the bigger the band, sometimes the music doesn't get through because of copyright. But this is Metallica. This is Screaming Suicide. Can't fucking wait. Here we go. Oh, that groove to this song has fucked my neck. Oh, what a groove. Man, it's a great song. It's a great song. Definitely, again, going back, to their roots, if you like. I mean, my favourite Metallica period was probably most people's favourite Metallica period. From Ride the Lightning through to And Justice for All, with Master of Puppets being my favourite album of theirs. That's not the same with everyone, by the way, but that's my favourite period of Metallica. I liked the Black Album as well, so I know that's a bit controversial, but I did. I loved it. I still like it now, although I've overplayed it, or it's been overplayed probably a bit too much. I could do without listening to Enter Sandman ever again, but they really go in. I think they're giving a sort of rawness and a feel of that 80s, early 80s feel of metal, new wave of British heavy metal, if you like, which they're highly influenced by. They when you look at their Garage Days, covers, a lot of that is coming from that, or either the punk era, or it's coming from new wave of traditional heavy metal, British heavy metal. So, they're definitely going back to that without a doubt. I don't think they're ever going to go back to that, 9-minute Master of Puppets sort of feel, Disposable Heroes, Leper Messiah, and they're not going to go back to that. But what we got now is a great band that I think are fucking pushing themselves. Do you know what I mean? They could really, they've made some mistakes in the past, I believe, with certain albums and production and stuff like that. I think they've got it right here. I think they got it right for this day and age. For now, as they are as a band, I think they got it completely right. This song sounds great. The bass rumbles. The sound of that bass, it's got such a great tone. Such a great tone on that bass. I can't believe how much that, really pokes out in that mix. It really comes through well. Loads of groove to this, like I said. Now this, I'm going to speak about Lars now, because people just give him so much grief. Whether he's a twat or not, I don't really care. But I love that little bit of, and I know it's probably not hard to do. I'm not saying he's the most technical player in the world. I think he's a great drummer, because I don't really, I like what I hear. I don't start looking at every little technical part, because I'm not a drummer. But I love that little bit he's doing with the bass, sort of fluttering with that kick drum, that like now and again on those verses. And now he's just starting to come in with the snare instead. That's taken over, so it's building the song up. But straight away, I heard that little, little bit that didn't have to be there, but it was probably, it's a really good idea that it is, because it's made me sit up and go, oh, I really like that bit. You know what I mean? So when you're not a great musician, like I'm not, because I do a little bit of singing, that's about it. But when you hear something like that, you think, yeah, that's a good little touch. I love that little bit with the kick drum. And, it didn't need to be there, but it makes it better for it. You know what I mean? Some bands wouldn't have thought of putting that in there. And I think with the production the way it is as well, the drums have got they really stand out, I think. And I think no matter how good their past albums were, that period that I talked about, from Ride the Lightning through to And Justice, there's no doubt about it. My favourite drum sound was the Black Album. Sounded huge. The drums just sounded that's the blueprint of how good drums should be. And even now, do you know what I mean? Even now, you hear the drums on that album, they are better than 99% of drums you hear now, in my opinion, by the way. The kick drum was sounded so good in that album. The snare was just so snappy. Everything about that album sounded great, even if it's not everyone's favourite album, because they sold out apparently. But you can't disguise the way that album sounded. And I think the drums they've taken from that blueprint, I believe, because it's the best drum sound they've ever had, apart from St. Anger, and they've put them on this, and they've wanted it to really, snap. And I think that sounds great. It fucking sounds great. I love it. It's got loads of groove. It's got a rawness to it as well. And it's almost like, they're doing what they want to do. That's what it sounds like. They're thinking, they either make it's almost like I either make another Garage Days, which I don't want to hear. I want to hear like, you know, I want to hear original stuff, but it's almost like they've got that real feel. You can imagine that this being a song that they've, you know, covered. It sounds that way. It really does. And that, you know, that's not a bad thing. I think it sounds great. It sounds absolutely fantastic. Really getting excited about the album. Out in April, of course. Here we go for the rest. Here we go. I've got to say, man, the energy that they're giving off on these two singles is just pretty fucking amazing, really. I mean, man, you know, they're going what, 40 years? 40 odd years now? Just amazing to hear them with that much energy. You know, at their age, you know, they don't need to actually fucking do anything now. They could just tour, or they don't even need to do that. You know what I mean? But bringing out music like that at this time in their career is pretty fucking amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love a good story like that. It's amazing. So, what do you think of this, guys? I mean, James Hetfield sounds great as well. Let's just mention his voice. I mean, he always has had that. I've always liked his voice, but I think he sounds almost youthful. He sounds even younger for some reason on these two songs, which is pretty amazing as well. Probably looking after himself a little bit more now, obviously, but absolutely fantastic. Let me know, guys, what you think. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people with this song. You know, some will be a bit negative about it, but you know, it's whether what your expectations now are, isn't it? And I think that they're exceeding those. You really, you know, from how many years they've been going and where they are in their lives, I think you've got to think that is one brilliant song with energy. They sound hungry, which is pretty fucking amazing, really. You know, they could sound really dull and like they don't want to do it, but they don't. They sound like they want to give the fans exactly what they need, and I think it's great. So screaming suicide, guys, what do you think of that in the comments below? I'll see you soon.